Oh shit. Oh, am I okay? Oh shit. Oh, that was a close call. I'm gonna get my shit set up there.
Welcome everybody to Dad's Gone Crypto. And today we are discussing Roaring Kitty from GameStop and why he's so famous and how did he become infamous and the people's champion. All right, so let's get into it. I'm alone today. Ryan is on a boys trip and he's enjoying the Keys, believe it or not, and snorkeling and diving, having some beers, and yeah, very cool. All right, guys. So Roaring Kitty, I thought it would be a good episode to do because, you know, you kind of understand him, like you heard in the news who he might be, and but you don't really know the entire story. So I thought, let's do a little bit of investigation. Let's understand why, and how does this relate to memes? How does this relate to what is happening in the current crypto space, and basically what it could mean for future things to come. So Roaring Kitty, his real name is called Keith Gill. He's like being an internet sensation, bit of a legend in the finance world. He's also a dad like us, and he's been making some waves on Wall Street bets and a popular Reddit community. So Keith Patrick Gill, also known as Roaring Kitty or Deep Fucking Value. How's that for a handle? Gained prominence in his role in GameStop with short squeeze in 2001. So get this, he's a licensed security professional. He's basically started out in the financial wellness and education space. He was the director of Mass Mutual before leaving the company in 2021. Gill's also known for his subreddit Wall Street Bets, where he shared his analysis of GameStop and detailed his investment strategy and gains. He also runs a YouTube channel called Roaring Kitty. It has a presence on X. So check this out, right? So you think he's just some quacky little guy playing dead on YouTube, but Gill's background is actually in accountancy. He's a degree in accountancy in the Stonehill College. He also has a master's degree in business administration from the Isenberg School of Management at the University of Massachusetts. Before joining Mass, Gill worked as a financial analyst at LexShares, a litigation finance company. He's also a chartered financial analyst, a CFA card holder. So he is not a dummy. He's actually very, very smart. In terms of experience, Gill gained significant attention in his investment in GameStop, which began accumulating in about 2019. His investment thesis was based on the belief that GameStop was undervalued, and it had potential for significant growth. So Gill posted on Reddit and YouTube, helped popularize the stock among the retail investors, leading to a massive short squeeze in January 2021. Gill's experience also included testifying before the U.S. House Committee on Finance Services in 2021, where he discussed his role in the GameStop saga. He was later the subject of a class action lawsuit, which was later dismissed on Netflix documentary titled Eat Rich, the GameStop Saga. So Keith Gill, as Roaring Kitty, started posting about GameStop in about 2019. At the time, GameStop was struggling and his stock was in the dumps, but Keith saw something that others didn't. He believed that GameStop was undervalued and had the potential to bounce back. So he began sharing his detailed analysis and research on Reddit and YouTube under the pseudonym Roaring Kitty. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. Keith's conviction and passion caught the attention of the Reddit community, and his posts started getting traction. More and more people began to believe that this analysis and basically bringing back the stock to life, this led to massive surge in stock prices, creating a short squeeze that sent shockwaves through the Wall Street market. Now, for those of you who don't know, a short squeeze happens when a heavily shorted stock, like GameStop, experiences a rapid increase forcing the short sellers to buy back shares to cover their positions, which drives the price even higher. It's the perfect storm, and Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, was right at the center of it. It's a famous catchphrase, "I like the stock," becoming a rallying cry for retail investors everywhere. Suddenly, the little guys were taking on Wall Street. The Roaring Kitty was their hero. The GameStop saga made headlines worldwide, and Keith Gill became a household name. So the big guys, the big institutions were shorting it, and they were pumping it, and there was a bit of a fight out. And they halted the trading of the price, because the more it goes up, the more the mass institutions lose multi-millions, if not billions. So that caused a lot of stir. It was the people versus the big institutions. And then they actually realized that things aren't always quite what they seem. And it's always the retail. The retail gets effed all the time, gets fucked, right? And this was a classical situation whereby they said, well, the little guy is tired of getting fucked, and he's basically going to step up, put his thesis out, and he had this wave of community that backed him and backed his thesis and took on the big institutions. And still to this day, 2024, in June, he's still basically taking on the big guys. And he is primed to become a billionaire if the stock goes above $70. It's currently hovering at about $29. But anyways, let's get back to understanding a little bit more about this Roaring Kitty. So why was Roaring Kitty so famous? Because he showed the power of individual investors and the impact that a community, a passionate community, can have on the stock market. It took on Wall Street. So basically, the little guy, or the little guys, took on Wall Street. And for a while, it seemed like the little guys were winning. What was Keith's skin in the game with regards to GameStop? Well, he started with as little as $53,000. Okay, not a little bit. He started in terms of the millions. Yes, it is a little. So he started with about 53K, and it skyrocketed to about $30 million. So it was incredible gains, and the combination of the early substantial investment into GameStop shares were call options, along with massive price surges that occurred due to short squeeze. His disciplined approach and deep conviction in his analysis paid off in a spectacular fashion, turning him into an overnight sensation. It's important to note that while Keith's gains were extraordinary, he also faced significant scrutiny from the legal inquiries following the GameStop saga. Nevertheless, his story remains a testament to the impact of the individual investor that can have on a market. And his success has inspired many others to take a closer look at the power of investing. So he went away for a little bit. He was still basically trading the stock. And for a period of time, it was just went silent on the comms. Then he posted he was going to do a live YouTube cast, and basically he had 600,000 people tune in. In fact, there were about 22,000 people 24 hours or 22 hours prior to that going berserk on the channels, in the comments and chatting and so forth, waiting for him to go live. Because when he comes on, he moves markets. So he decided that he feels that the share price is, and through his analysis, is going to skyrocket. And he wanted to do a live cast and just to share some of his insights. And the big institutions did not like this. And basically during that entire cast, 2-hour cast, they halted trading 15 times. So they couldn't. The minute the price went up, they halted trading. The minute the price, and then it activated it again, it surged again, they halted it again. So they didn't want him and his community to surge the price up to $70, which would have made him a billionaire. I still think there's time for that. So this is what happened in the past 48 hours from the time the show listed, right? And this is according to Grok, which is the AI tool in your Twitter feed, or X feed. In the last 48 hours, Roaring Kitty, also known as Keith Gill, made a significant impact on the stock and the social media. Here's the summary. Stock market impact, the GameStop shares surged to 48% in a single day, closing at $46.55. So $46.55. This was largely attributed to the Rory Kitty's announcement that he'd scheduled a YouTube live stream for noon, which was the 7th of June. The live stream event, Roaring Kitty returned to YouTube for the first time in several years, attracting a large audience. However, the live stream did not go according to plan. The schedule started and the time passed without an appearance of Roaring Kitty, causing frustration, but also the channel to go crazy. There were 600,000 people plus. And as far as I've seen, there's about it's been streamed 2 million plus times. So the meme coin market, a Solana-based token named GME, inspired by GameStop, was not affected during this time. They thought that might have rallied. Financial position, so Roaring Kitty's stock options positions was valued at about 586 million at the time of the last Reddit post, so he's gained significantly. GameStop earnings report, GameStop's report losses of 32.3 million in revenue of an 882 million in its fiscal first quarter. Despite the loss, the company's stock rose 47% on the 6th of June. The New York Stock Exchange paused trading in the GameStop more than 15 times in early afternoon of June the 7th due to the volatile trading in the stock. Yeah, more like the institutions trying to cut him. Future plans for GameStop has announced that in May is planned to sell 75 million shares at a prevailing market price, which could raise roughly about 3 billion and increases cash holdings to approximately 5 billion. So as of now, they have sold those shares, which means that there's no selling pressure, and basically the market is primed to push, and GameStop is now cash flush.
Am I okay? Oh shit! Oh, that was a close call. I'm gonna get my shit set up there. Oh. Oh, 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 help. Send help. Can y'all hear me right now? I kind of forget how to do this. I kind of tested it. Can you hear me? I can't keep up with this shit.
All right, so that's Keith having a bit of fun on YouTube. As you can see, he's got almost 1 million subscribers, 2.5 million views, which was 6 days ago. Very, very freaking cool. Funny character and a smart guy at that. So the question is GameStop, right? So what, in a CD and cassette and disc, past, we grew up with that. I don't know if the millennials know about it now, but we grew up with those disc cassettes and that. And the market basically was moving away from that. And that's hence the birth of Netflix, where you don't go buy your Blu-ray DVDs or your DVDs. So that they thought that with gaming, that would follow suit. And GameStop, just couldn't really reinvent itself, due to funds and due to people trying to obviously kill the stock. And it just wasn't going anywhere. And this guy, Keith, saw that it was undervalued and saw the potential and rallied. So much so that there are a few $1 billion in cash, and they're reinventing the entire space when it comes to GameStop. So this is their online store. They are making it not just a technological fantasy for people wanting the best games, the best consoles, the best technologies, the best headsets with the best advice. At the same time, they are busy with digital, collectibles, which is massive now. So you can go in there, trade, compare, sell, maybe even. And they've got all the top brands. So this is the browsing category: graded collectibles, which tickles my fancy. Trading cards, my son. We're looking for the Pokemon 310 collection, I think, if that's it. And then you got the controllers. So it's basically a a gamer's fantasy or gamers and collectibles fantasy to come into a store. So there's a few concept stores which they've pushed out, obviously to get the recipe right. It's not just going in and going to buy a disc, even though discs are still quite popular. It's about getting that chat, finding a friend can possibly play, games together, buying the latest technologies with expert advice. You don't go into your local, thrift store and say, "Oh, find me a pair of headsets," unless you're looking for a very cheap pair. But when you want to understand the technology of what makes a good headset, what's noise canceling, wireless versus wired, you want an expert advice. You want someone that's knowledgeable, that loves it, that is also passionate. You want a passionate salesperson. And this is the type of store that they're trying to create. And obviously, with being as big as they are, they're going to create good deals for their customers. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to pop in here afterwards. Do a little bit of shopping. Digital releases trading. So the online presence is amazing. There's no reminiscence of an old type of store. This is what the old store used to look like. Lots of cassettes and games and stuff like that, which never really had a makeover, and there was no forward thinking into like basically taking on the brand. So this is Keith. He's got some various characters. He's got his 8-ball, which asks questions. He's heavy into the Rory Kitty memes. Let me type in here, Rory Kitty memes. And become an internet sensation over here. So he has a lot of fun with this, and he's incredibly popular. So Roaring Kitty single-handedly put GameStop on the map. So GameStop raises more than $2 billion by selling 75 million shares, capitalizing on, and this is over and above what they had. So they have $4 to $5 billion, if I'm not mistaken, in cash reserves. So yeah, they are cash flush. And if the store fails from here, you just got to blame the management and the CEO. But I don't think they are. I think they're into think about the store. The store's become popular. The brand, just the brand in itself has become, because it's the people's shop. It's the people's brand, because the people rallied against the institutions. So you have this connection towards them. So when you go into a GameStop, you kind of feel, this is the people's store, as opposed to going into another store and maybe it's just a commercial store where, the big guys always win. Have a look here. This is the current price as of today, the Friday, the 14th of June, 29.12. He's hoping it'll go up to 70, which will make him a very, very wealthy person. So how does this play into the whole meme thing? I think Rand from Crypto Banter put it quite nicely. It's meme coins, yes, are shit coins, but it's proper degenerate playing for communities. It's the people's coin. You're looking at all the thousands of potential projects you can get involved in. Yes, you got to look for the quality ones, but when you're backing a community, or you're part of a community that's backing a particular project, no matter what it is, right? It's the people that's pushing the pipe. It's the people that's driving the price. Soon Bitcoin won't be the people's coin, right? It'll be the institutions. Already institutions are buying up millions and millions and millions, if not billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So they are going to start to manipulate the price. They are still going to start to control it. And you, as a little guy getting in and out, you no longer can control it, right? They control it. Up until before they got in, before it became, legal in the States and across the world, the community drove the price. So yes, and the miners, of course. But long story short, memes is so hot at the moment is because people get behind it. The average Joe says, well, what if I put $100? I've only got $100 into a meme, and maybe it goes to the moon. Right? Incredibly high risk. Right, but do your homework. A simple example of doing your homework. Let's say you want to get into a meme. Gummy is the latest, hottest craze. There's tons of others, but we know who started it. We know the community behind it. We know how they're doing it. There's full transparency. Rand runs a massive media company in crypto, And that's the biggest thing that you need to keep people and keep their attention and spotlight on a particular meme. So as long as Crypto Banter is pushing it, they are, creating awareness, they're creating gamification. So, your conviction is, could this potentially go up? Yes. Could they build community? Yes. They've got over, I think, 45,000 holders. They've got 157,000 followers on Twitter. And they've got thousands and tens of thousands of followers on Crypto Banter. So when something exciting happens, it should push the price higher because they're creating this FOMO, because something's going to happen. And if you listen carefully to some of his chats, he says that, well, communities want Crypto Banter to promote their products, right? So they could potentially get allocation from these products, from these projects, future projects, and airdrop it to their gummy community. So it's not just owning the gummy, it's holding the gummy, it's staking, it's getting behind their community. And what they said is, it's not their coin, it's the community's coin. They're just incubating the baby stages. And once that baby stages, the baby learns to crawl, and once it starts running, and then they're going to say, okay, it's time for you to take the coin and go through, create your videos, create your communities, create your inner circles, get gatherings, open up a booth, open up a gummy a gummy weed shop. The world's your oyster, right? So what they're saying is, we're just getting it going, and so forth. So in that regard, if you're doing your homework, the conviction is the meme going to go up? Well, I'm backing the guy that basically put it together. You always back the guy. My conviction is the guy that started it. He's well reputable, and he wants to get it to $1 billion. And he's going to get there. If he doesn't, it's a failure, and he won't want to fail. He wants to grow his community. He wants to grow their coin. So that's the conviction. So now, community, coming back to GameStop, the little guy feels like he's in it, and is community driven, and we're railing up and we want it to succeed. And there's multiple memes like that. So there's the Trump meme, there's the shake your booty meme, there's the Tate daddy meme, there's mother meme. Quite a nice one, I would say. And they're busy fighting against each other, creating awareness. So long story short, it's the people's opportunity, to get ahead, where institutions will not get involved in meme coins. So it's kind of just the communities playing against each other, because institutions won't be allowed to invest their capital into those, because it's too high risk. And the SEC and governments will just slate them six love. So it's the communities that are playing, and not manipulated by the big guys. So anyways, guys, it's a story about the little guy taking on the big guy, winning in respect, and reviving an old institutional company that was about to die from its non-innovation, that now takes that innovation to that next level, and it's going to be an authority in the space with regards to gaming technologies, collectibles, and all of that. So cheers to Keith on his podcast and his live stream. He had thousands of people following him, and he's very entertaining to watch. All right, guys, and that concludes our episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Go support Roaring Kitty on his channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below, guys. And if you're the little guy that wants to get ahead, tell us your story, and let's just get the conversations going. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Ciao.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.